Unit 14. Video 4. Soil water is taken by the plants. The root system absorbs water. Tips of the roots have hair-like outgrowths. They are called as root hairs. The root hairs are the organs of absorption of water. The left diagram shows a root system containing many root tips. One of the root tips is shown in the right diagram. It is a single root tip containing many root hairs. These root hairs arise from outer part of the root, that is epidermis. This diagram shows a part of the internal structure of root. The outermost part is epidermis. Already we have learned in lesson 12. From the epidermis, root hairs arise. Root hairs are thin outgrowths of epidermis. There are millions of root hairs on the tip of the roots, which absorb water and minerals by diffusion. The root hairs are thin-walled extensions of epidermis. Root hairs absorb water continuously. As a result of this, the concentration of water molecules inside the root hair increases. So because of osmosis, water from root hair enters into cortex. Now the concentration of water molecules in the cortex increases. So because of osmosis, water enters into xylem. From the xylem, water is transported to upper areas, stem and leaves. This diagram also shows the pathway of water absorbed by the roots. Root hairs absorb water. Water is transported through the cortex because of osmosis. Then it reaches the xylem vessels. Once the water enters the root hairs, the concentration of water molecules in the root hair cell becomes more than that of cortex. Thus, water from the root hair moves to the cortical cells by osmosis and then reaches the xylem. From there, the water is transported to the stem and leaves. The water absorbed by the root hair cells are transported through cortex and xylem vessels. From the xylem vessels, the water is transported to stem and leaves through xylem. You know how the water is transported from root hair to cortex and to xylem. This movement of water takes place through two routes or two pathways. One is upper plast pathway, second one symplast pathway. Upper means away, plast cytoplasm. In upper plast pathway, water movement takes place out of the cytoplasm. In symplast pathway, water movement takes place through the cytoplasm. Water enters into each and every cell in symplast pathway. This diagram shows the movement of water through both upper plast and symplast pathway. The green color shows upper plast pathway. Here water moves out of the cell through cell wall or intercellular space. The blue color indicates symplast pathway. The water crosses the cells. It moves through cytoplasm. From one cell to another cell, water movement takes place through plasmodesmata. Plasmodesmata are small gaps found between cells. In upper plast pathway, the movement of water occurs exclusively through the intercellular spaces and the walls of the cells. Upper plast movement does not involve crossing the cell membrane. This movement is faster than symplast pathway because water need not cross the cytoplasm or cell. In symplastic movement, the water travels through the cells, that is, their cytoplasm. Intercellular movement is through plasmodesmata. Water passes through the cytoplasm. Intercellular movement takes place through plasmodesmata. Water enters a cell through cell membrane. Water has to move through the cell membrane. Hence, the movement is relatively slower.